The best compliment you can give to somebody, they're the best of the worst. And this guy could have done a great service to all the higher level teams in the NHL, but unfortunately he played with some of the roughest expansion teams of the mid 1970s in Washington and Colorado, which is of course the shift from Kansas City. This guy from Port Arthur, Ontario, did a lot of his career, played for Team Canada, played for the Detroit system for a few seasons, played in London for their affiliate team in Detroit, and ended up being one of the top players on the Washington Capitals in those last years of the expansion in the early years. Fan favorite, again, from all parts of Canada and the States, is got to be the very, very talented Nelson Pyatt. Now, Frederick Nelson Pyatt, born again September 9, 1953, the great community of Port Arthur, came to major prominence with the Oshawa Generals of the OHA. He played 2 seasons with them, eventually drafted in the 73 campaign in a shortened year with 32 points in 26 games, including 13 goals. Now, Detroit took him 39 overall in the 73 draft, and the Fighting Saints took him 59 overall in the WHA draft. So you knew he was going to land someplace. Again, 74 was a campaign. He played 5 games with Detroit, but played the majority of his minor league that year under the exhibition banner with the London Lions, and put up some dynamite numbers. 63 points in 61 games. As a pure playmaker, he had 35 goals and 28 assists. 75, again, some seasoning with Virginia of the AHL. 7 points in 14 games, but finally got the call up to Detroit. But get this, ladies and gentlemen, he found his way to Washington and made an immediate impact with the Capitals, who were desperate for offense. He had 10 points in 16 games. Now, technically, his rookie campaign was 1976, led the team in goal scoring and in points, 45 points in 77 games, including 23 goals. 78, he found himself with the Colorado Rockies, which had shifted from Kansas City to Colorado. 77, and he had 23 goals and 22 assists for 45 points in the 77 campaign. 78 and 79, he was back with Colorado, but eventually sent to the minors with Philadelphia of the AHL in 79, and then got one last shot with Colorado in 1980 with 5 goals and 13 games, but played most of the season with the Fort Worth Texans, where he put up 20 goals in the regular season and 5 in the playoffs. So a natural goal scorer at every level, and when he found his way out of North America, he played with Werder Schleb of the German number 2 league. 63 points in 22 games in 81, but 82 tremendous numbers, ladies and gentlemen. The 100-point mark, 109 points in 46 games, including 78 big goals. Now, Nelson is not the only Pyatt in the family that made the NHL. His sons Tom and Taylor, talented in their own right. Tom had played with the Montreal Canadiens, Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Ottawa Senators. Again, most of the time with Montreal came in the early 2000s. Also played with, again, Tampa Bay, and also played international for Canada, winning Spengler Cup gold and World Junior Championship gold. Again, a very, very impressive career. Now with Taylor just as an impressive. Played with a number of NHL teams, including the Islanders, Sabres, Canucks, Coyotes, Rangers, and Penguins. After being drafted 8 overall in the 99 draft. And again, put up some really dynamite numbers. 280 goals and 280 points in 859 regular season games, including 140 goals. And again, one of the better OHL players of the early 2000s, again with the Sudbury Wolves, where he put up some dynamite numbers. So the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. But like I said, when the 2 Pyatt brothers eventually made the NHL, we went back and thought about Nelson, because Nelson played with some really, really rough defensive teams. But, to score 26 goals for the Capitals in 76, it was good as 50, because they only had 4 or 5 good players that could score on a regular basis. You're talking about later on with Sirois, Tommy Williams, Stan Gilbertson, players like that. It was rough on them. So, but for me, again, Nelson Pyatt, and in my opinion, one of the most underrated players of that era, because with a Maple Leaf or a Bruins or Flyers team, I think he would have done well, and I don't think Washington or Colorado wanted to give him up because what little offense he had. When you're almost 10% or 20% of your team's offense, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot you're helping out. So, anyway, that's a legend of Port Arthur's Nelson Pyatt. Thanks for listening. Bye.